Hello, BookTube. Cold out here. About 32 degrees. I got a book haul I really wanted to show you. A little bit of beer. What a day. You would think that people would visit friends in Florida this time of year. In Vermont, it's freezing. Should be my quiet time of year, but Thanksgiving, food, that sort of thing. So I snuck out here knowing that person would never come out here. These guests drive me nuts. Oh!
Whatevs.
I made a book call today. Oh my God, it's a Bernard corn. Well, he dropped a Bernard corn. Let me try this again. I apologize. Today's book haul. Tristan Jones, A Steady Trade. Wonderful paperback about young Tristan Jones, one of the greatest sailors who ever lived. A bit of a tall tale teller, but still wonderful to read. And this one was sort of exciting because on the back, it has a little tag here, hopefully you can see it, called The Armchair Sailor, which is a wonderful bookstore and also sold like nautical navigation equipment, all that stuff. I don't know if they're still around. They used to have a wonderful book catalog that I used to love. And I visited the store in Florida quite frequently. I don't know if they're around anymore. I should have looked, but I found that at the last second. Didn't realize, not the book, but the tag. The next one here is a science fiction writer that's a favorite of Sean D. Standfast, a wonderful channel, man who knows his science fiction. This is a Collier Nucleus science fiction classic by Clifford D Simmack called Way Station. I'm literally shaking. It's so cold out here. That's where I had to run to get peace and quiet. It's going to be a rough couple weeks. So, Earth was a small planet on the rim of the Milky Way galaxy. It still is. Unaware of other intelligent races that form the interstellar community. So, you get a lonely farmhouse in rural Wisconsin. There's a man who bridged the gulf between our world and the vastness of the interstellar way station. So, glad to have that. I'm freezing. It's like 32 degrees in this room. So, this little science fiction and nautical and like my comic books and all that, graphic novels room, is actually, there's 2 rooms on each side of the porch. So, there's no heat in here. This one here is Poole Anderson, The Time Patrol, an anthology of his works on that subject, supposedly complete. And Time Travel, New World's November, and you don't get much better than Poole Anderson. This one, I've been told, has a different cover. So it's not the cover I read years ago. This is Fred Saberhagen, Empire of the East. Glad to have this. Most of these cost like 75 cents. Some I didn't pay anything for. Then a wonderful biography of Martin Luther, Here I Stand, by Roland H. Bainton. Nice paper copy. I've read this many times. If you're going to read, there's been some recent Martin Luther biographies, but I still think this is the best. So, I have read most of the new ones. Then Tom Pocock wrote a biography of Captain Marryat, seaman, writer, and adventurer. Wonderful book about a very interesting, big-time bestseller a couple centuries ago, and a man who actually served with Cochrane, who is the inspiration for Patrick O'Brien's Captain Aubrey and the inspiration for Star Trek's Captain Kirk. So, then this one I'm amazed to have. This is Dudley Pope. At 12, Mr. Byng was shot. Mr. Byng being the Admiral of the Blue for the British, who was executed after a less than stellar performance, I guess, which is sort of too bad. But Dudley Pope, I've been managing. I can't really, well, I can point to him, but you wouldn't be able to see him. Has written a lot of histories and biographies, that type of things, but also over here, which you can't see, is the collection of the Lord Ramage novels, which are nautical fiction. They're wonderful. This one's a new one, Under Jerusalem, by Andrew Lawler. The Buried History of the World's Most Contested City, politics, archaeology, and a little history of that archaeology. I'm looking forward to reading this. This is sort of right up my alley. Great one. Then this next one, this one I was really excited to get. It's about the Sloop Providence of 1777. Valor, fore and aft, being the adventures of America's first naval vessel by Hope S. Ryder. This is a marvelous production. Here's our author. He did quite a job here. Looking forward to reading it. I've been looking through. It's very detailed. Got some good illustrations of artifacts. I am literally shaking. I'm so cold out here, and I got to go back in there. Oh, well. Maps. Oh, there we go. That was Nova Scotia. I thought I saw a line drawing. Oh, here's a model of the ship itself, the Sloop Providence. Detail of a gun. Very glad to have this. This next one, the Covered Bridge, an old American landmark whose romance, stability, and craftsmanship are typified by the structures remaining in Vermont, by Herbert Weedon Congdon, with 100 photographs by Edmund Homer Royce. It's going to be hard for me to show you. This is definitely an old book from the early 40s, I believe, and it's covered in mylar to protect it. Stephen Day Press, Brattleboro, Vermont, where Rudyard Kipling lived for a while until he got driven out. Copyright 1941. This is first edition. It's funny making a video when you know you're literally trembling because you're cold. Oh, well. What do you do? So I have, not very far up the road here, a covered bridge, and right down the dirt road here, a covered bridge. So I'm surrounded by covered bridges. I have been most of my life. So that'll be fun. Fun to add to Vermont collection. And then this final one, John Richardson's A Life of Picasso, the Minotaur years, 33 to 43. Now, I have the first 3 volumes in this. Thrilled to have this. Absolutely thrilled. John Richardson died, I believe, during the production of this last book, and so there was a little help. One of the monumental biographies or biographical projects of the 20th century and obviously the 21st century or whatever. Well, about an artist from the 20th century anyway. This is just magnificent. The other ones, I think they have a list of them here. So here's these are worth your time. It's a big project to read them. Loaded with illustrations and detail. Boar's Eye book, Alfred A. Knopf. 2021. They should have a list of the other ones, I would think. Yeah, they do. Life of Picasso, the Prodigy, 1881, 1906. The next one's the Cubist Rebel, 1907 to 1916. The last one's Triumphant Years, 17 to 32. And then this one's Minotaur Years, 33 to, what did it say? 43. Just a monumental project. So, Picasso. Fascinating even if you're not into his art. But he did so many kinds of art, you probably, even if you think you're not into his art, there's probably stuff that you'd enjoy. So, let me see if I can do a you-know-who pyramid. Then I got to go in and I'll probably have to watch Star Trek. Jesus, never ends. Never ends. And as far as food goes, it's gone. One day, he ate all our food. Our larder is bare. So, we like the dog, though, so it's worth it. So I hope you're doing well. Thank you, BookTube.